Oh, wait, no, it's a whole football club. As I've said,
sure.
Paul, that the manager, head coach is one of the most important people inside the football club. But yeah, Rangers as a football club need to be doing better, and they'll obviously put things in place. But I think if I'm Patrick Stewart and the executive team there, and albeit they've inherited Philippe Clement's contract that was given to him by John Bennett, you need to find a way to sort this contract out to move on from this manager. I don't like saying it, nothing against Philippe Clement at all, but for Rangers to still have Philippe Clement in charge tells you everything you need to know about where they are just now as a football club in the back of that result yesterday.
Yeah, and you can go on another thing. There was a few changes. There was 4 changes, Paul, but that team yesterday was still strong enough. And I'm not being disrespectful to Queen's Park here, but still strong enough to go and make sure you got yourself into the heart for the quarter-finals.
Here's a Rangers fan on the line that we know. Derek, good evening.
Hey, good evening, Paul. Good evening, panel.
How you doing, Derek?
It doesn't surprise me, Paul, that he's still in charge. They've brought in an assistant manager from Morocco.
Morocco,
giving him a three and a half year contract. 2 weeks ago, that didn't sit well with me. That was enough to say that we're sticking by this manager no matter what the fans think. And us as fans have now got to vote with our feet and start boycotting this nonsense and seeing what's going on at our club. This isn't a Rangers team, Barry, we're watching. This is a shadow of a Rangers team. This is no Rangers team. I've never been so angry leaving the stadium yesterday. I was absolutely furious yesterday, and I'll not be back until that man's gone. And I hope everybody starts boycotting this nonsense. This can't continue. The 10th of February and our season's over, and getting beat to a glorified pub team, because that's what they are. I'm sure most of their players are part-time. They should not be in the same park as Rangers after half an hour. That should be a cricket score at Ibrox yesterday. And this nonsense I'm hearing for the happy clappers that they made changes and this and that. Rangers should be able to put their reserves out and run them right off the park. That's an absolute disgrace yesterday, and the biggest embarrassment in Rangers history yesterday. That's worse than Berwick Rangers, and how that man's still in a job, and his nonsense with this shots and goal. I can't even listen to him anymore. And I'll not be going back until that man's removed out of office, and I hope everybody feels the same.
Barry?
I don't blame Derek in terms of he was fuming after the game. I was the same, and so was everybody at Ibrox. And in terms of Derek mentioned about the team, and there was the changes with Kelly, Fernandez, Rice and Rami coming in. It's still good enough, Paul. It should still be good enough to see past Queen's Park. And I don't like having downing another team, but if you look at Queen's Park's players and you look at their season overall, they've not had the best of seasons. And yeah, it was disappointing, as I mentioned, because that was the one trophy that Rangers should be earmarking to pick up at the end of the season. But listen, it's the 10th of February, as Derek's mentioned there, and you're out of basically 3. You never give up in the league, but I can't see 13 points and with 13 games to go, Celtic losing 5 games.
How can that same team go from...
That's a frustrating, Paul. See, looking from getting that monkey off your back with beating Celtic at the start of January. I've seen small steps. You've got to continue to take these steps, but you've took 2 or 3 steps forward over the last 5 weeks, and you've took 5 or 6 back after the result last night, the result yesterday. So I understand. Listen, I don't blame the fans. I'm the same. Really disappointed. It's unacceptable. And we just need to see what happens. I mean, the next game, Tynecastle? Is it Sunday 12 o'clock?
Lunchtime,
but it looks to me if the manager's going to be staying.
Mark, we know Derek phones often. You can hear the passion there. You're controlled tonight. You can hear you're so angry with it. It's hard if it does affect the attendances. And I know season tickets are sold, but it'll be next season before we know it. That's where are the directors going to handle this? That's what I wonder, given that the manager's got a longer term contract. He makes a great point about a new assistant in just a few weeks ago. Look, managers can be changed, but people say GVB, they move too quickly. Michael Beale was a mistake, but can they keep pulling the trigger? Maybe do the directors know something that people like Derek don't? Try and fix it?
They know the exact state of the balance sheet, Paul, and if it's true that Rangers couldn't afford a few $100,000 to get Lyle Cameron in the door last week, as has been suggested in some position that they have to wait till the end of the season. But listen, we don't need to be accountants to know that Rangers financially are up against it. They are really up against it. Now, we don't know the fine detail of Philippe Clement's new contract that he was given by John Bennett in August, but it certainly must be a weight round their neck financially. Otherwise, I think the trigger would have been pulled, because how many nights have we been on here, Paul, with similar situations? You go back to the New Year period. Can he beat Hibs away, lose to St Mirren? Can he beat Motherwell away? And the Rangers fans were absolutely scunnered. He bought himself time because of European results and beating Celtic convincingly, at Ibrox. But that's been Philippe Clement's problem in his 16 months in charge. Just like Barry's saying, you see small steps and then there's a massive backward slip. You see small steps, then there's a massive backward step, and that's not good enough, and it's not acceptable for a Rangers manager. So I'll repeat my point. Patrick Stewart and the executive team need to find a way to come up with a financial package to say cheerio to Philippe Clement. He can't continue. If Rangers are a serious football club, and they are, and they're serious about challenging Celtic, and I don't expect them to challenge Celtic overnight, whether guys like Derek and other Rangers fans accept it. This is a long road back. But Celtic faced a similar thing, Paul, 25 years ago. And they bulleted John Barnes, and they brought in Martin O'Neill, and Dermot Desmond took control of the situation because some members of the board wanted Gus Hiddink in, and he overruled them and brought in Martin O'Neill. And since that day, Celtic have won 18 titles, Rangers have won 6. So that's what you need to make. You need to make big decisions. That's why Patrick Stewart's in the job. And like I say, I can't believe he still survived, but it's symptomatic of where Rangers are just now as a football club, that they find that acceptable.
Derek?